Well, there's just one more special effect I'd like to explore with you in this chapter, and that is bevels. Bevels allows you to create three-dimensional effects by either raising the edges of an object, including artistic text, or embossing them, making them feel sunken. There's different styles of bevels and, of course, lots of options or properties that can be applied to both artistic text and any other object on your page. So in this lesson, we'll look at both styles using both types of objects. I'm on page 3 of the file that we've been using throughout this chapter. It's called moreeffects1.cdr. If you've skipped to this lesson and you've got the exercise files, you can open it up in the Lesson 12 folder if you'd like to follow along. Either way, we need to click the page 3 tab down below to see what I see here on my screen. So I've got some artistic text, and I've also got some objects back here with my green onion dollars. We're going to apply bevels to the exterior or the rectangle around our green onion dollars, as well as our artistic text where it says bevels. So let's start with the bevels. I'm going to click right on the word bevels. And now to apply those bevels we're talking about, we need the Docker open. Of course, that means we can go to the window menu down to Dockers and find bevels over here. There it is, about halfway down. Or if you prefer, you can go up to the effects menu and straight to bevel. By clicking it, you're going to launch the Docker over here on the right-hand side. Now I'm going to zoom into this area called bevels by clicking my zoom tool. I'm going to zoom into that just so we can really see the effects we're about to apply. Back to my pick tool. And now over here on the right, you can see the styles drop-down has two options, soft edge or emboss. We'll start with soft edge. Now the bevel offset can be determined by the center, so it can go right to the center, or you can choose a distance if you like. The distance will raise the edges, and eventually when the distance gets to be so high that there's no more room left in the characters in this case, they will end up in the center. So you can go right to the center or choose your distance here. I'm going to knock this distance down to 0.05. So we had 0.15 in there. You may have had something different if you've used it before. Previous settings will appear. If you've never used it, you would have seen the default. Regardless of what was there, click and drag over, type in 0.05, or use the up and down arrows to adjust. Now the shadow color can also be determined. You might not have any shadow color showing up in here. That's one option. But you can click the drop down, and I'm going to go to kind of a light gray over here. So I don't want it to be too dark. We also have light controls, so we can choose the light color. Imagine if it was the sun, it would probably be a little more yellow. If it was a fluorescent bulb, it might be more white. And once we've chosen the color of our light, we can choose the intensity, so we can make it really strong. I'm going to go up to about 75. The direction can also be adjusted. You've got 360 degrees to choose from. I'm going to bring it all the way up to 360. And then the altitude, where's this light coming from? All the way up to 90 degrees would be from straight above. All the way to 0 would be almost on the flat plane along with our text in this case. But I'm going to go about halfway. So let's go to 45 and see what happens. All we have to do is click apply to see the results and check it out. You can see how the shade of green has really changed. That's because of my light color. And you can see those borders. There's a little bit of shadow in there. It really appears three-dimensional, raised off the page. I'm going to change my light color now to white. So back to white and click apply, because that doesn't alter the color of my text as much as it did using the yellow light. So I like that. I might change the intensity now. I'm going to bump it up to about 85 and click apply. There's a little more light. Let's try a different direction. Let's go to about I'm going to go to 181 and click apply. Totally different effect. So it now appears that the light is coming from a different direction. The altitude, we can lower it so closer to the horizon and click apply. Or bring it further up to see more light. Try 66. I like that effect right there. You can really see the edges are raised up. Now they're raised up according to the distance I chose. So if I start bumping this up, I'm going to go up to 0.1 and click apply. You can see the edges are getting taller. I'm running out of space, and actually, if you look closely, it's almost as if they've gone right to the center of the characters. Clicking to center and clicking apply will show you the end result. There it is right there. You can see it's kind of like a V shape right up to the center of each of the characters in my text. So I'm going to change my distance, and I'm going to knock this down to about 0.07 Click Apply. I like that better. Beautiful. Now there is another option, and that is Emboss. Let's go up to Soft Edge, choose Emboss, and that's a totally different effect. When I click Apply with all the defaults set, you can see it's kind of three-dimensional, but it's almost like it's engraved. So you can experiment with that. You've got all of your distance, shadow color, and light controls available to you here as well, except for the altitude in this case. Let's go back to Soft Edge. Just click anywhere here on my page and press Shift F4 to zoom out. And now I'm going to zoom in to my $5 gift certificate here. F2 or click the zoom tool. Let's just zoom into that. There we go. Click the pick tool and let's just click on the border here. Make sure that it's the rectangle that's selected. So this is a group of objects, but when we click on the rectangle in the background, we can apply a bevel to just that object and it will affect my entire gift certificate. So in this case, I'm going to choose a distance of 0.06. The shadow color, I'll leave at gray with the light. The intensity, I'm going to leave it up. Click Apply. And if I zoom in a little bit further to the corners, you can see how I really got that three-dimensional effect. If I change the direction of my light a little bit, I'm going to go over towards 360, 272, and click Apply. Now you can really see those edges. Okay, that's perfect. I'm going to go back to my pick tool, deselect by clicking outside. Shift F4 allows me to see the entire page. And now I've got some three-dimensional objects here on my page thanks to the bevel docker.